Some hurts don't show on the skin, they live quietly in the child's memory. We all wish for children to grow up in love, not fear, to be able to play, to dream, and to be themselves in the world that feels safe and caring. But according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 64% of adults have gone through at least one form of adverse childhood experience. According to the World Health Organization, about 60% of children under the age of 5 are regularly subjected to physical punishment or emotional violence by their caregivers. In addition, global analysis show that about 1 billion children aged 2 to 17 experience at least one form of violence each year, whether physical, emotional, or neglect. This reveals that childhood trauma is far from rare. What's truly striking is that many creative people that we admire, like artists, writers, and musicians, have grown through significant challenges in their early years. Frida Kahlo, for example, suffered a polio as a child and survived a bus accident at 18 that left her in pain for the rest of her life. But with her turbulent and painful life, that became the inspiration for most of famous works, such as The Broken Column in 1944 and The Girl with Death Marks in 1938. So, what if the disadvantages of our childhood, which we often try to hide, are actually the seeds of strength, compassion, and creativity? I'm Thuy Linh, and I would love to take you on the journey to discover how adverse childhood experience can help us grow stronger and more creative. Firstly, I believe that early hardship can nurture strength. Children who grow up facing hardship often learn early how to adapt, observe, and become self-reliant. I've come to realize that when a child is thrown into darkness, they learn how to create their own light. When they are cast into deep water, they learn how to swim. I have come to realize that when a child is thrown into darkness, they learn how to create their own light. When they are cast into deep water, they learn how to swim. Frida Kahlo never let her pain define her. While confined to her bed after a devastating accident, she began painting. Especially, she built her own easel so she could paint while lying down and attach the mirror above the bed so she painted herself. She once said, "My painting carries with it the message of pain, and also, at the end of the day, we can endure much more than we think we can." From those struggles, Frida discovered her strength, resilience, and creativity. Her journey is a living reminder that our childhood pain do not always break us. Sometimes those experiences become very sore where courage and greatness begin to grow. And here in Vietnam, there's another story that touches me a lot. A story of Thiện Nhân, a boy many call little teen soldier. When he just a week old, he was abandoned in a banana garden in Quảng Nam. He survived an attack by wild animal that left him in severe injury and 75% disability. But 19 years later, with determination and love of his adoptive mother, doctors, and community, he has become university student majoring in computer science and artificial intelligence at a prestigious university, earning an 85% scholarship. His story shows us that even when life begins in hardship, we can always turn this experience into a source of strength and the spark that leads to something extraordinary. His story reminds us that pain can be a powerful teacher. It doesn't just make children stronger, it helps them to understand others more deeply. A study by American Psychological Association found that 2/3 of artists, writers, musicians, and painters have lived through some form of trauma. And most of them said that Those experiences help them create acts that connect more deeply with others, because those who have fallen know the value of getting back up. And I think that true strength doesn't come from never breaking, it comes from carrying light even after you've been through the dark. And when you begin to understand others' pain, something beautiful happens. You start wanting to ease it. And I believe that we can always turn our pain into the drive to create something beautiful. Maybe my childhood wasn't easy, so I learned early how it feels like to miss love and how much people just want to understood. That experience made me want to create something meaningful, not for myself, but for people around me. That's why I joined many volunteer campaigns, like my university's Green Summer and Spring Volunteer campaign. There, I met people less fortunate than me, and together with my teammates, we made small but meaningful changes. And I realized that every time I help others overcome their problems, I also healing a wounded part of my younger self. Maybe your childhood wasn't easy. Maybe you were compared, criticized, or told you weren't enough. Maybe you had to grow up faster than you should have. But your scars do not make you weak. It's a proof that you will survive. And sometimes those struggles from your childhood are what teach you to understand others, to feel compassion, and find the courage to live more brightly. We don't get to choose how our story begins, but we get to choose how it continues and how we become. Don't be ashamed of your past. Your scars are proof of strength, compassion, and ability to turn pain into action. And sometimes, if someone asks you, what was your childhood like? You can smile and say, my childhood may left some marks, but my future is a painting that I get to choose the colors. Thank you.